Right, so this week I've got a couple of days, complete full days basically, on this. So I should be able to get a good about 16 hours in, probably, at least. Covered in dust here. Basically, what I'm doing is, well, loads of stuff. This video is going to be probably in about 6 parts or something, so I'll be doing loads of things, but I'll show you what's going on. I'll also be doing a bit of a fiberglassing tutorial on that bonnet there. As part of it, I'll do a separate video for that, because somebody wants to know. Somebody asked me the other day about how to fiberglass, and that should be fairly interesting, hopefully, for somebody. So anyway, basically, I've left some of this in here already. So when I put this all together initially, all this dash, which is here, I've chopped it off this morning. All this was basically put in while the windscreen was in. So obviously all this up to here, completely here, literally, is solid. The only part that's actually going to get any sort of stress on it is up to this perspex line, perspex screen line. So nothing after that will be structural anyway, but I want to make sure it's solid, sealed, make sure there's no air gaps, stuff like this coming through, that stuff, where you can lose base, basically, make things rattle, flex, that sort of stuff. So basically what I'm doing is, I thought I'll show you mid done. I left the original dash in before. This is part of the original dash. So you can see where that sort of stops. It's sort of, I've left a little bit in there now still, but I've got to chop that out a bit better than that. But you see the issue there. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be chopping all this out, take a big chunk out of here. This section will then go back onto here, but at a slightly steeper angle. You won't see any of it anyway, because there'll be a windscreen here and it'll be tinted and stuff. But I'll make it nice and smooth and everything. But this will be basically placed back in there. That'll go down to where the windscreen sits. Get rid of that. Where the windscreen sits on here. So the windscreen's going to sit flush now, rather than before it was a bit too high on this dash. So yeah, basically the plan is to get rid of all that and make it a lot stronger, much better sealing. I'll be fiberglassing inside here as well. All this will be done inside here to make it nice and sealed, solid. Get rid of all these bits of old dash and stuff, because it's just much easier now the windscreen's out. This was all done, of course, ages ago when I wasn't even going to go this extreme, so they can see why I did it and why it now needs a little bit of a change. So yeah, I'll crack on with that, and obviously the video is going to be in a few parts, so there'll be loads of different things I'll be doing, so feel free to watch the other parts and see what you think. Okay, so part 2. Done quite a lot of work, as you can probably see. It's only took about an hour and a half or so. Basically, all behind all this fiberglass behind here, I probably should have took a photo before I did it. This has all been built up with wood underneath all that, underneath all this section, and a bit more at the end there. So that's all been nicely flatted off. And then basically we've had 2 layers of fiberglass. It's not set yet, but I mean, it's hot weather, so yeah, it's setting pretty quick, which is good. But it's not quite there yet, but yeah, everything's nice and solid there. So once that's set, that's going to be a nice solid base, airtight. There's nothing getting through there basically. I've even fiberglassed the vents at the bottom, which were kind of under here, under that area. So I've done all that. All the vents are all done as well, so there's nothing coming through there at all. I've just got to put this section on now, which is going to fit, if I can lift it. It's quite heavy. It's going to fit sort of there. So I've chopped it out. Hang on 2 seconds. Try and do this one-handed. It's not easy. Probably should have used the thing for this, the tripod thing. Right, okay then. So that's in there. Oh, well, you get the idea anyway. But yeah, that's going to sit in there anyway. It'll make it nice and flush for the screen. Obviously, it won't right now where it sits the second, but it will do when it's sat properly. But yeah, that will fit a slightly different angle down to the bottom of here, and that's all going to get fiberglass in, then a layer, maybe 2 layers, yeah, about sort of a layer and a half almost over that, and that'll blend it into this bottom section as well. So that'll be nice and solid. I'm going to crack on with some other bits and bobs as well. I've got to make, luckily because this is all drying so fast, I'm going to be making the sections here for putting the tweeters in. I've brought all 4 with me this time, so I'm going to paint the cones on the 2 other ones and get those test fitted. Obviously I'll be doing the bonnet like I said before. That'll be done shortly as well. And I'm going to be doing some sanding on this as well, this section. So I'll get on with that, try and get that piece at least finished or very close to finished. and then ready for obviously the second half of it then. So you never know, I might get both done of those, we'll see. I'll also be doing some filler work in there, in that area, and the other side as well, because the other side's a bit of a state. In fact, I'll pop around there now so you can have a look what it's like now, so at least you'll see it in part whatever it's going to be, part 10 probably in this video. That's how bad it looks at the moment, but by the time that's finished it won't be. So yeah, we'll crack on with that. Yeah, I'll crack on with this so I can see so I can get finished. Okay, so here we are on part 3 is this, I think, for the video. Been quite busy again. Not got quite as many hours in as was expecting, but it doesn't matter to be fair, because it's pretty tiring work, because it's obviously cooking out there. I think it's 40 degrees at the moment, which is ideal for this sort of stuff. Not. I'll zoom out a little bit so we can see what's going on. Basically, the dash took a bit of time, but this is now all in, sealed, everything's all done and dusted. So you can see where that's going to be obviously filled and got flat down here, and obviously it'll all be nicely finished off in that side of things. I've been quite busy on this pod here. Jump in there actually, easier. Okay, so what I did is I've done some filler work inside there to make it the same shape as the other side. Still got a little bit more to do up the top here, but basically that's the general shape of what it should be. It's then had a layer of fiberglass over the top. People who've seen my project before, obviously loads of people have, they'll know that basically you've got my normal way of working is to fiberglass it first, then fill it to get a bit of a shape, and then fiberglass it again over the top to get it sort of locked in like a filler sandwich almost, and it basically gives it density and which obviously is what I need for the audio side of things, but obviously also keeps it strong, stops the filler falling out, that sort of thing. And then I'll basically do get this back a bit with the grinder down here, and then I'll be seeing a thin skim of filler all the way down here as well. It's all blended in, so obviously everything's nice and strong, so it's all blended into itself. The floor is blended into the sort of rear enclosure sort of area, plus the side pod, plus this area here. Everything's all one piece, nice and solid in theory. That's the idea anyway, and it should work fairly well. It has been so far. So I've been working on that anyway. Let's do some filler and some work on that. I've also been working on, what's the banner here again, tweeters. So this is how it looked before, it still does on this side. So basically build up the shape, get a rough idea of what's what here. Obviously very, very rough, but then you get to the other side, the one I've nearly finished, almost finished, you'll see just a bit of a difference here. So there's 2 tweeters in there, mounted flush. That is also enough room now for the screen to pass over the top, not a problem. Nice and easy. So that'll be, I mean, it's going to be tight obviously, but it doesn't matter, it's fine as long as it clears. So hopefully will sound decent. Blue cones on those. I've also been doing this side. Haven't done a huge amount on this side, but I've done a bit. So when you last saw it on the last video, I think it was sort of been filled to a certain amount and fiberglass. Now it's been fully filled all the way along here, all the way along here. Blended in obviously same again. This is all fiberglass in here, basically all joined together. Just needs flatten back. Obviously none of these lumps will be here. Flatten back and do another pass of filler. Tidy up all these edges at the back here. Also I've got to leave a bit of a ledge so I can get the bolts in for the subs when it's ready for that. What else we got here? Okay, stretching there. Right then. So obviously same again, just needs a bit of flattening, but the actual filler work is there. Done and dusted. So that's been quite good. I've also been working on, I'll put another video up as well, or will be, about the fiberglassing for the bonnet. Did a bit of a fiberglassing video for people to see. Bonnet here is now had, what's it had? 2 layers of fiberglass. This section's only had 1, but it's got to be built up a little bit along there. But the general gist is that's going to be fully done soon. Obviously flat back. So yeah, Oh yeah, and this. So here we are. So that there is, hang on, that there is obviously the top part of the cover. That's been flattened back. That was just in filler before. You'll notice there's a slight crack here and a slight one at the top here. So what I'm going to do is do another pass of filler, similar idea to what I normally do. Just another pass of filler on here to get it roughly the right shape I want, and to build it up enough for the speakers to fit in properly and nice and flush. Because at the moment, if I come down here, they're really not. Nowhere near. So yeah, I'll get that built up with fiberglass. I need some more matting. I've run out of matting, otherwise I would have done this already. But I'm going to build it with filler, get a decent sort of level, and then put the fiberglass over the top, and then a nice skim of filler again, same sort of thing. And obviously build this up the sides with fiberglass as well. And that was the good one. That should hopefully be, in theory, all good. So yeah, anyway, that's my last few hours of work that's been going on. I shall do another video ASAP, and yeah, let me know what you think. Feel free to comment and subscribe if you can.